Oh man, it's that time again. Gotta do the oil change, and we're also gonna change out the oil filter. So, sounds like something you guys are interested? Stay tuned. So first step, as always, you guys want to go ahead and run your car a little bit. It's going to kick up all of the juices within the oil pan and kick up all the debris. That way nothing's settled towards the bottom of it. As you can see down there, it's still showing it's pretty cold, so we're going to warm up the engine and then we'll get started. While she's warming up, I'll go ahead and go over the oil and the oil filter I'll be using. So today I'm going full synthetic. We're going to go OW20. Alright, there, OW20 Mobile 1. And then I couldn't find the Mobile 1 filter, so I went ahead and got K&N. I think, what size is this? This is the HP 1008. So that is the combination we're going to be going with. Picked up a couple shop rags, and I also have this nice old oil mat just in case. So yeah, I've got the jack stands. We'll get the car jacked up as soon as this is warmed up. Then I'll go ahead and I'll get the tooling for you guys as soon as I find out what exactly the tooling is I need. And yeah, I'll break it down for you. Alright, just shut the car off. And there you go. Right now we are currently sitting at 94,000 miles. So we're going to be hitting 100,000 before we have to change this oil again. Gotta take care of my pretty garage as most as I can. Plus, this wasn't very expensive at all. We're gonna need that. Alright, so I'm gonna be doing this oil change pretty much Barney style. That way, anybody who's watching this can typically do it. Yes, that even means my wife. My wife can do it from learning from this. Guarantee you guys can too. So, if you guys have never changed your oil before, where you want to jack up your car is right here on the support beam. Every car has got one. Most cars will tell you with an arrow where to actually jack it up at. But right here, that's good enough for us. Alright, and you should be good. Just make sure your jack is perpendicular to the car. And just start pumping. Alright, jack stand is in place. We're going to go ahead and lower this. Nice and easy. Alright, car is jacked up. I have enough clearance to get underneath. And here's the jack and jack stand. So typically I like to leave the jack on the last portion. It's just an extra safety precaution. But yeah, there's that. Speaking of safety, you guys might want to also put down these bad boys. It's gonna help keep the car in place. Just something to keep it from rolling back on you when you're underneath the car. Alright, well, it's officially that time. I have everything set up. The car is jacked up. I got my oil mat down, placed down over there. So we're gonna go ahead and aim to remove the panel that's holding within the oil pan and our oil filter. Once we have that off, I'll show you guys what tools I used. And then we'll go ahead to draining, filling, and checking our new engine oil. Alright, officially under the car, and right here is going to be the panel that you guys want to remove. So it looks like one Phillips head screwdriver, two Phillips head, and then two little pop clips. You can just use a little flathead to get up underneath and pop those out. As you can see, one is missing, but it's been okay. I have some more to replace that. But yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and remove those real fast. Just like so, comes right out. Alright, as you guys can tell, it exposes both your oil filter and your oil pan. Alright, so that's pretty good. Come back up towards the top of the car, come down, you're gonna go ahead and pop your hood. That's pretty handy. Forget what type of oil you have, there you go, you have OW20 right there sitting in front of your face. pretty cool safety method, so you know exactly what oil you should be putting in here. So the reason we open that is it allows airflow so the oil can drain faster. This is where it's gonna start getting messy. Boom, voila. So it really doesn't matter which one you take off first, the filter or drain your oil, but I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil first. Alright, just get it started, and then we'll start the flow here pretty soon. Good thing I didn't start, this cap isn't out yet. Alright, now we can start. So if you have one of these containers too, make sure you have this little vent bubble open that allows the oil to drip in faster. So if you don't have that, you can have an overflow. That wouldn't be good. Look at that, that's black. Woo! Nasty. This is why we have the shop rags. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and let that drain. Once that's all drained, we'll go ahead and hit up that oil filter. Alright, oil is pretty much drained. I have my tool on the ratchet. And let's go ahead and just cinch this down. Dang, so I really don't know who did this last oil change, but this filter is freaking on there. I don't know if the Hulk did it or what, but I'll show you guys the damage I'm actually creating on this thing to get it off. Like, look at that. There's actually huge indentions in here trying to remove this thing. There's no way I would have gotten this by hand or even a band strap. Alright, finally managed to get it loose. So we'll go ahead and remove this by hand. Watch out because there's going to be oil in here. Dang, I do not like this filter. I think we're swapping that out. Now you just want to clean off your hardware. So this is all clean, get all the oil off. And then you're going to go ahead and reinstall this plug. Just like so. Sits nice and flush there. Clean up your mess. And then we'll tighten that down real quick. And there's your oil filter housing right there. So real quick, I want to show you guys this oil filter. Look at this thing. Look how freaking damaged I had to make it to get this thing off. That is the importance of that tool I just had. So here's a Performax. I don't know how good those are. But yeah, this thing was totally on there really freaking hard. Yeah, not a fan of that. Not a fan. Yeah, so here's your gasket. You just want to make sure you always get the old oil filter gasket off with it. Which that one's still attached. So it creates a good seal up there, that way you're not leaking here in the future with more problems. So the good thing with upgrading to this K&N filter is it has the wrench off capability. So on the very end where the bottom one is installed, you can get a wrench on there, or you can get a bigger head and take it off, so you don't even need special tools. But yeah, here it is outside the box. Alright, pretty much the same size. We're good. And here's the comparison. So this one has that head to move things. That one didn't. So this should be an overall better filter. So it's got the gasket on there. You always want to check that. Look, check it over before you put it on your car, you know. And it looks good, no cracks. This looks pretty good. And yeah, alright, we're set there. So what I typically like to do is you can use the old oil if you want, which is fine. And then you just kind of go around this lip. It's going to give it a good seal. Gives it a good seal to go ahead and bond back into the car. So yeah, there you go. So I wish I knew what size this was, but I just went through my toolbox. And I went to the biggest size, and that still wasn't big enough. And that was a 22 millimeter. So 22 millimeter does not fit the end of this, so I don't know what size that is, but that's why I have that tool. That'll help me get this off in the future. But sorry I couldn't help you out with that one. And again, this is the HP 1008. Alright, back into the car we go. forgot to mention, I did clean out this port prior to putting this back on too. So as much as I love my Hyper Tough tool, for some reason that does not tighten things, it just loosens them the way the mechanism works. So I actually have another Hyper Tough, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I also have another Hyper Tough band strap that I use to tighten my oil filters with. So that's what I use to go ahead and tighten it down. But here you go, here's what it looks like. It just has the little strap on there, and it cinches down, and you're able to tighten or loosen it. And last but not least, before we forget, we're gonna go ahead and tighten down drain plug. Don't need to cinch down too hard. These are very gentle. You gotta be very gentle with these. Alright, so next up we're gonna go ahead and fill her up and make sure nothing's leaking. I hate these freaking little caps. So again, this is 5 quarts of OW20. Should probably use most of that to fill this engine up. I'm not really too sure how much goes in there, so we'll be gauging off this dipstick every once in a while. So I stopped it early because remember what I said, I want to make sure nothing is leaking down here, which it isn't, so we're pretty good. So we'll try that right about here. We'll check the dipstick. So off the dipstick, this right here is about 3/4 of the way. So we'll go ahead and dump a little bit more in here. That should do it. That should be topped off right there. Go ahead, clean her off. Alright, it looks like that about did it. I don't know if you guys could see, but it's right there topped off at that second hole. Alright, engine oil is full. Put the cap back on. Check that while it's already out. Make sure there's nothing wrong with it. Don't see anything. Cap goes back on. Everything's all secured. So let's go ahead and start her up and we'll check again for leaks. I can tell she's idling a lot quieter. She definitely needed an oil change. And looks like we're good. No leaks. Yep, so now it's just reverse process. We're gonna throw in those 2 Phillips head screws, those 2 pop rivets, and then we'll call it a day. And voila, we are good. Alright, to save you guys from the boredom and dire need to watch me clean up everything and get the car off the jacks, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys enjoyed or found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It helps me know that you guys actually cared. And yeah, so still some more little stuff coming up with this car, but for the most part I'm pretty much done with it mod wise, but I can go into detail on what I like and dislike about it and things like that. But plenty of stuff for the rally that I have coming up. But yeah, so that's about it for today's video in regards to changing out your oil on a 2015 Mazda 3. Pretty sure it's for any generation of that generation. Pretty simple and straightforward and pretty easy to do. So save some money. Don't send it to the dealer when it's something that you can do yourself. Just gotta buy little tools here and there, and keeps you more in tune with your car. So with that being said, I just want to say thanks for watching. Never live your life on idle, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. So I actually forgot to mention that I haven't seen an engine light or an oil light on this car pop up. I've always changed it beforehand. But what I do is I just go ahead and I go to my trip B and I reset it. And that's what I'm going to be doing my oil changes off of from trip B. So I plan on doing it every 6,000 miles.